Red vs. Blue is one of the longest running web series as far as I know of, and personally one of my favorite shows that exists, until Season 15 came around. I believe that in Season 15, the new director and the new writer missed a lot of things that happened throughout Season 1 through 13, even 14, and that season has so many continuity errors, I find it hard to actually connect to the whole show, and it doesn't feel like it could possibly be canon. One of the many things about the show is it's so cryptic. You can take it for face value, you can laugh, you can have fun, but there's a lot of it that's so subtle. I feel like it takes multiple times to watch the show to actually pick up on everything. Or if you actually pay attention full on, some things you can pick up right away, but you gotta think about it. And it's ripe for coming up with theories. And my personal theory is that the time travel in that show actually happened the whole time. And in Season 15, they said that time travel hadn't happened for real up until that point, and then Season 15, suddenly real time travel existed.
Fully functional, he said. Powered by an honest-to-God's time machine.
But time travel's impossible.
How can you say that? We've traveled in time before.
No, we didn't. We just thought we did. Don't you remember?
Oh, shit. I think you might be right. All that shit was so confusing.
First of all, you've never actually explained how it's fake. In my opinion, it's never been disproved to be real. A lot of fans agree with the fact that time travel's never existed ever since Season 8. In Season 8, the Reds and Blues discover that everything they went through in the Blood Gulch Chronicles were simulations designed to test the freelancers.
We had that whole battle with the Blues for the something or other, and we set off that bomb thingy, and we got blasted through time and met an alien, and that guy got pregnant.
According to this, that is Scenario 3.
3?
That seems to tell people that time travel in that show was fake, but it was never explained as to how it could be fake. But in my opinion, it still could have been real time travel, and still simulations. Wyoming had the armor ability to distort or time loop, so these simulations could be used to train with that.
Training?
Practice.
Not to mention, as Season 5 revealed, the simulations were being used as ulterior motives to take over the aliens and end the war. Just because it's a training simulation doesn't mean that everything went exactly as planned, otherwise it would be choreography, it wouldn't be training. In training, things can go wrong, things can get messed up, especially with experimental technology like a time distortion unit. The first part of my theory for Red vs. Blue's time travel suggests that it starts not in Season 3 when the bomb explodes, but when Sarge and Caboose are teleported to Beaver Creek Base. I think it's possible that the Beaver Creek Base is the testing facility for the time distortion unit before Wyoming picks it up. How else would you explain their ability to come back from the dead after killing each other? Originally, I think this was supposed to be spoofing online gamers, but as the show got more serious, I feel like that would make sense to retcon that part of the show. This could also be the cause of their insane personalities. After dying constantly and then coming back to life, they lost their minds. They've gone insane. Attempting to rationalize the situation, they blame the flag, thinking that that's their god, bringing them back from the dead, the objectives they constantly must die to steal. And Agent Wyoming used the time distortion unit to bring himself back from death by looping time until success. We see the time distortion unit speed up time, slow down time, loop people through time. It's not hard to believe that you could just set it to reverse someone's death, like just rewind. If the grunts have experience with the time device, that's probably why they're stationed with Wyoming at that ice base. I feel like the time distortion unit that Wyoming uses and eventually Agent Maine uses originates from the planet Chorus. I feel like this because the temple on Chorus, the Temple of Vision, the temple has the power to show anyone who enters the future or the past and uses the teleportation technology to send a person from the temple on the planet to another temple seemingly above the planet, called the Testing Grounds. That same teleportation technology was said to be used on the future cubes made by the pirates on Chorus. This could explain the vision Wash had in Season 12, after being knocked unconscious by Locust. Why didn't anyone else see visions when they were using the future cubes? Maybe because Wash was unconscious inside of one of them. At the end of Season 11, Wash and half the team get knocked out and captured by Locust and his team. While inside the cube, he could have seen a vision of his future and his past to help him figure out his problems for the future. It makes so much sense. The time distortion unit, we've never known where it came from. Why wouldn't the time distortion unit, which can take you to the future or the past through teleportation, be connected to those things?
Both types of equipment seem to utilize some form of alien engineering.
And there's one bit of evidence, is the fact that During Season 5, when Wyoming is using his time loop to fight the Reds and Blues every time they defeat him and he goes back in time to create a time loop clone of himself, Tucker still remembers every single iteration.
Wait a minute, what's going on?
I think he knows.
Why aren't you being affected by any of this? He said it has something to do with the sword!
And in Season 13, it was confirmed that Tucker's sword is connected to Chorus's technology by Santa, the alien AI.
It is now clear to me that although your key comes from another world, it was in fact forged by my creators.
Not to mention,
That new alien is here to find the old one, and he revived the blue guy to help him.
The alien revived him.
Yeah. They don't treat life and death the same way we do.
so maybe they do the same thing with the time distortion unit that was done with the red and blue grunts. Maybe in a less technological way, seeing as how they infect hosts with parasitic embryos, and then the embryo is born, much like, the alien that found Tucker in the Reds and Blues. It could definitely explain why Junior was born with armor. The time distortion unit connecting to the temple on Chorus that shows visions of the future, and the time distortion unit connecting to Beaver Creek with the grunts makes more sense when you connect Beaver Creek grunts to the Temple of Vision. How does that make sense? Well, the grunts call Caboose the Beast.
That makes me angry. My name is Michael J. Caboose, and I hate babies.
It's the Beast! The anti-flag! Come to live among us and rule us for 7 years! The end is nigh!
What are the odds that later Gamma calls him the Great Destroyer? It's possible that the grunts looped life and death so many times, or even when they just died and were brought back the first time, they saw visions every time they died, just like when Wash was knocked unconscious and possibly teleported, giving more reason for them to turn into religious nuts. That could connect totally.
Truly, these are the end of times! Repent! Repent!
Not only that, but when Doc was teleported away,
Oh, it was horrible. Griff threw that future cube, and I was teleported away some far-off place. Another dimension where time and space refute all of logic as we know it. A place where I drifted for what felt like an eternity. And after a while, I lost my mind.
Wait. You were gone?
Crazy?
it made him go insane, very much like the grunts after they keep constantly dying for what seems like eternity. If the time distortion unit is originated from Chorus, it's not hard to believe that the weather machine inside Lopez is stolen tech from Chorus as well.
There is the Temple of Weather Manipulation, Bountiful Harvest, Interior Decorating.
Seems obvious, but I've never seen anyone bring it up. We know Charon steals technology from Chorus. We know the director steals technology from Charon. The Reds and Blues are connected to the director in Project Freelancer. I believe the weather manipulation temple is where the weather machine from Lopez's stomach came from. The Beaver Creek base is the time distortion unit testing facility. The time distortion unit is from Chorus, specifically connected to the Temple of Vision, because that temple also has teleportation technology used to create the future cubes. And when Wash was knocked out, most likely him and Sarge and Donut and Lopez were teleported to the Fed's base using that, because it's 4 people that they need to carry easily with the future cubes. Wash, being unconscious in the future cube, saw a vision, just like at the Temple of Vision. Now that is a big chunk of evidence as to why time travel exists in the show and how, but what exactly happened with it, I'll talk about in my next video.
Guys, I hate to interrupt, but 0 seconds. What? Oh, son of a...